Well, hey there, this is Jerry, and let's get started on that episode of What's Broke Today. And today I've got a Craftsman. This looks like a 2003, 6 3/4 horse, self-propelled walk-behind mower. This has actually got a Tecumseh motor on it. Um, and we're going to do the same as usual. Got to make sure we got fuel, spark, and compression. And then while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and check the oil and see what it looks like. And it is below the add mark, and it's very dirty. Okay. Gas cap and the fuel tank is dry. So I will have to hunt down some gas before I can even think about starting this. Oh, spark plug end on this is all messed up. Yeah. I don't think that's why it won't start, but I got to get that wire thing back on the end of the spark plug wire itself, because the little clip that goes in the clips on the end of the spark plug is no longer attached. Now that spark plug is due for replacement, but it should still fire. Before I pull the rope on this, I want to get this back on there. But yeah, this little wire thing that goes on the end, I'm going to grab it with the part that pokes through the spark plug wire, but it's got that spring that slides over the end of the plug. And what we need is, and since this has already been together, there's already a hole in the side of the spark plug wire where this was through there. So I'm just going to get it back through that hole and just crimp it down. And then that way, so it's lined up, so when I put it through the boot, it lines up with the spark plug terminal. I may have to go get a little screwdriver to push. And the whole purpose is I'm gonna pull the rope with my compression gauge in there and see what I get. And we never want to be pulling on the rope trying to start these with that wire just dangling. We either need to ground it to the engine block or put a spark plug in it. And I just usually put a spark plug in it because I usually it's the easiest thing to do because I already got it here. And then make sure the compression gauge ain't underneath the mower deck so you don't pull on it and catch your compression gauge and break it. Okay. I'm going to just give her a couple pulls. That actually don't feel too bad. Oh yeah, that's just a hair over 90 pounds. So that isn't bad at all. And I think while I'm here, I'm going to get a 1/2-inch socket. I'm going to pull the bowl off the carburetor to look inside. And I'm not sure if you can hear it in the background, but the Honda that I was working on previously is sitting out close to the barn running. And so far it sounds really good. But what I'm doing here with my 1/2-inch socket is taking the bowl nut off the bottom of the carburetor. Because while there's no gas in it, it's a great time to check this out. And that's actually super clean. Pop the bowl off, and is a little bit of dirt in it, but not terribly bad. Pour some wipe off around there. before you put it back on. And you look at the bottom of the bowl, the bottom of it's kind of stepped. The shallow part goes toward the hinge pin of the float. So, see where the hinge is back toward that corner. I'm just going to take this and put that back toward that direction and restart this bolt, because and that's not stopped up. I normally have pulled this and checked for spark, but I didn't bring another rope to tie the bail down so I can pull the rope while I'm close. But ideal thing is to have help so someone can hold the bail down and pull the rope, and you can watch for spark. Alright, so we get that back up on there. And while we're here, there could be a lot that's wrong with it, is that it needs a new air filter. Look, I don't know if I got the camera down low enough you can see all that junk, but that thing is stopped up. Because see, normally you'd hold this up to the sunlight and look to see if you can see light through it, but I can look on the outside of that and tell light's not going to flow through it. So this might actually get by with an air filter, a spark plug, and maybe an oil change. Maybe sharpen the blade. Probably the worst thing it's got going against it is the window in the mower deck that in a spot where we don't want it. But that's from where grass has been built up there on the inside and held moisture and rusted it out. So I'm going to go find some gasoline and I'll be back. And it also, I run premium no ethanol fuel in it, which is also the only thing I put in mowers. But depending on the age of your lawnmower, they do not like ethanol-based fuels. Even 10%, a lot of them won't start. And I'm going to wait just a little bit and watch where I took off the air filter to make sure the carburetor doesn't overflow with fuel and come running out. And I can just pick up the front wheels and make that air piece low. And so far, so good. I'm going to hit this primer about 5 times. I think just for the heck of it, I'm going to give it just a little squirt of starting juice. Plus, it smells like a mouse. Well, they'll say that don't sound too bad, and it does. This one wheel does drive, so I think I'm going to find some oil and top off the oil, see if I got an air filter, and grab a new spark plug. And then when the Honda gets done running, which it's been going for, I'm going to say about 20 minutes at least. Don't remember when I pulled this up and started. I didn't look at the clock. But yeah, let me grab an air filter, top off the oil, change the plug, run this out back, and I'll swap my rope over to the bail on this and just let this run while the just to make sure everything's going to run good. And maybe two of the simplest fixes for walk-behind self-propelled mowers that I normally get, because it's so common to pull these carburetor bowls off and find them all gummed up from old fuel. Yeah, because you know as the gas that's in this bowl does evaporate, all the solids that are in that fuel remain, and that's what plugs up those jets. Or if you get dirt down in the tank and it makes its way into the carburetor. But I think this is going to be okay. Might have to pull this top off and blow things out, because it has that smell of mouse pee from it when it is getting warm. So, but yeah, I'll change out those and go check on the air filter, and then yeah, I'll check back in with you after I let this run for a while. Well, I thought while I was out here I'd go ahead and start the Craftsman. And this one, the primer bulb is kind of hard. So where it normally says 3 times, I'll give it about 6 or 7. Okay, there's 8. Yep, almost. And it is a little bit cool out still. Well, I think I'm going to call the Craftsman good, because I mean, we're talking, this thing is a 2003, so it's 22 years old. That ain't too bad for a mower that old. And I'll say his son's going to be using it, so he won't have any trouble pulling it. So, well, I'm going to wrap up this episode that I got the Craftsman done. That on the Craftsman, I did blow out and clean out the bowl of the carburetor a little, even though it was in really good shape, so it wasn't that bad. Fresh fuel. I did top off the oil. It was a crapshoot because this thing's so old. Sometimes changing the oil in an old mower, especially when it's over 20 years old, they all of a sudden start burning oil and using oil. So I just topped it off. New air filter, new spark plug, sharpened the blade. Self-propel works, yeah, okay. I mean, it's a one-wheel drive that, you know, I talked to the customer. As long as it pulls itself a little, he didn't care about fixing, making both wheels pull, because they're going to be using it on flat ground. You know, it might have a little bit of a grade, but no hills. I did, where the hole was in the housing, I took a piece of old license plate, cut it up, bent it around there, put a couple, well, there's 4 pop rivets in it, drove it around, cut some grass, everything worked good. So we're going to send this one down the road and move on to the next project. But hey, I do appreciate you watching. That anybody out there's not a subscriber, better feel free to join on in, because I'll tell them what else you're going to see on What's Broke Today. Thank you.